You know it's serious when Whoopi Goldberg isn't cracking jokes. The lights feel dimmer, the air heavier, and the usual background chatter has vanished. There she sits, eyes blinking fast, lips pressed tight, hands trembling as they clutch the courtroom table. This isn't The View. This isn't a rehearsed segment or a TV debate. This is real life, and it's spiraling out of control in a way no one at ABC ever saw coming. And the woman on the other side of the room? None other than Carrie Underwood. Yes, that Carrie Underwood. The country superstar, multi-Grammy winner, and now an unexpected champion for media accountability. But this time, she didn't bring a mic or a guitar. She came armed with hard evidence and an $800 million defamation lawsuit aimed directly at Whoopi, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the network that's long backed them, ABC. What started as an offhanded comment turned into a full-blown courtroom battle. And as Whoopi struggles to hold it together, Carrie sits calmly, watching the fallout of a storm she didn't start, but one she's ready to finish. This isn't just about a few careless words, it's about setting a precedent in daytime television. If you haven't hit that like button and subscribed yet, do it now, because what's about to unfold might just rewrite the future of talk show culture as we know it. Here's how it all began. What was meant to be a simple performance, a song, a stage, and a chance to bring people together, turned into the spark that ignited this wildfire. Carrie Underwood, loved by millions for her voice and heart, agreed to sing at Donald Trump's second inauguration celebration. For Carrie, it wasn't about politics or personal beliefs. It was about staying true to her role as an artist, bringing people together through music, regardless of party lines or voting histories.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
But when The View went live the next morning, things took a nasty turn. Joy Behar was the first to pounce, wearing that trademark smirk she saves for moments like these. Carrie Underwood, she scoffed, dramatically flinging her hands like she was tossing something worthless aside, is either totally oblivious or knowingly playing along. The audience's reaction was split, a few scattered claps, a few audible gasps, but that didn't slow the panel down one bit. If anything, it only fueled the fire as the co-host piled on, turning what could have been a respectful discussion into an all-out verbal takedown.
She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country?
Sunny Hostin leaned in next, her gaze sharp and unwavering, and landed a blow of her own. Let's just call it for what it is, she declared. Carrie choosing to stand with that administration isn't about unity. It's choosing to side with hate. The studio crowd murmured, some nodding, others shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Then Whoopi Goldberg, sensing a viral moment, couldn't resist. With a sly grin, she leaned toward the mic and quipped, "Oh, Carrie must think this is just another country tune, bless her heart. Hate to break it to you, sweetheart. This ain't no love song, it's a PR disaster." The audience erupted with laughter. Even the stagehands backstage could be seen chuckling. The show moved on. The teleprompter wiped Carrie's name away, and the panel shifted to the next hot topic. But behind the scenes, in Carrie Underwood's world, the damage was immediate and personal. Unlike most celebrities, Carrie didn't fire off a sarcastic tweet. She didn't jump on TikTok with misty eyes or post a moody black and white selfie captioned with vague heartbreak. No, Carrie picked up the phone and called her legal team. Insiders say she was blindsided by how personal and venomous the remarks were. This wasn't political commentary, it was a public character hit dressed up as daytime banter. And what cut deepest wasn't just the words themselves, but the smug delivery, the mocking tone, and the way the whole thing was set up for laughs at her expense.
I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, they wouldn't ask me, so I have nothing.
Right.
Carrie Underwood had reached her limit. A few weeks after that now infamous episode of The View aired, she made her move, filing what quickly became one of the most explosive lawsuits modern television has ever seen. The price tag? An eye-popping $800 million. The targets? Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the network that aired it all, ABC. The claim was crystal clear: defamation, calculated media harassment, and a deliberate scheme to tear down a woman for daring to sing at a politically charged event. Carrie didn't come to play. Her legal team arrived armed with receipts that would make any network exec break a sweat. Not only did they have the full transcript of the episode, but also internal production notes and damning emails with subject lines like, "Use Carrie to stir outrage." One message allegedly read, "We need fireworks tomorrow. Let Joy take the patriotism jab and Whoopi will seal it with the viral moment." It wasn't a heat-of-the-moment debate. It wasn't accidental outrage. Carrie's lawsuit exposed it for what it was: a pre-planned hit job, carefully packaged for ratings and social media buzz. And it didn't come without consequences. In the aftermath of that episode, Carrie quietly lost a lucrative endorsement deal with a major wellness brand. A primetime awards show performance she'd been booked for suddenly vanished from the lineup. Industry whispers labeled her too controversial. But Carrie didn't fold. She doubled down. In a pointed public statement, she made it clear this wasn't about red or blue politics. It was about decency and professional dignity. No woman should be publicly mocked, ridiculed, or professionally undermined on live television for doing her job, she said. The View, meanwhile, stayed silent. No apology, no acknowledgement. In fact, they smirked, cracked jokes, and dismissed it like it was nothing. Big mistake, because as the lawsuit picked up steam, it set the entertainment world ablaze. Headlines splashed across every major outlet. Carrie Underwood sues The View for $800 million, talk show hosts under fire for personal smear campaign, inside the court case that could shake up daytime TV. And while the media frenzy swirled, Carrie kept it classy and quiet. No interviews, no cryptic social media posts. She let the legal filings do the talking, and they spoke volumes. Because this wasn't just about one celebrity being dragged for ratings. It was about exposing the toxic culture of careless commentary and unchecked power wielded by daytime television's most influential voices. And this time, those voices were finally being held accountable.
Underwood will take the stage at Trump's inauguration singing America the Beautiful. She said to the Post, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event. I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Well, that wasn't good enough for the tolerant left, of course, who is outraged over Carrie being outed as MAGA. X is blowing up with jokes about how she should sing her hit song Before He Cheats. Some are calling for her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying there are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys. Carrie is talented, she is graceful, she is a class act, she has great legs, not that it matters, but she is everything that the tolerant left.
The opening day of the trial didn't just feel dramatic. It was straight out of a blockbuster. Think flashing cameras, reporters shouting over each other, and a crowd so thick it wrapped around the courthouse, eager for a front row seat to what was already being dubbed the media showdown of the decade. Carrie Underwood was the first to arrive. There was no celebrity fanfare, no glittering entourage. Dressed in a sharp navy power suit, her blonde hair pulled back into a polished ponytail, she moved through the chaos with a quiet confidence that spoke volumes. No smiles, no waves to the press, just steady, unbothered focus from a woman who'd been publicly dragged and came out standing taller. Then came Whoopi Goldberg. The difference was striking. Covered in a bulky black coat, oversized sunglasses shielding her eyes, she stepped out of the car with a rigid, uneasy posture. The carefree, wisecracking TV personality was nowhere to be found. In her place stood someone staring straight into the eye of a legal storm. Lips tight, head down, avoiding cameras and contact, the usual spark completely gone. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere thickened. Carrie sat poised at the plaintiff's table, occasionally leaning in to quietly confer with her legal team. Across the aisle, Whoopi fidgeted anxiously, fingers digging into the arm of her chair like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. Carrie's attorneys wasted no time. They opened with a brutal montage of video clips played for the jury, the moments that started it all. There was Joy Behar, mocking Carrie's patriotism, Sunny Hostin, coldly questioning her character. And then Whoopi, laughing cruelly at Carrie's intelligence and faith, her dismissive grin frozen on the courtroom monitor for all to see. The mood in the room shifted instantly. What was once just TV banter now looked and felt like a calculated personal attack.
So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right? It is country music. I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I
You
can't
would
sing.
not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
A lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions for a lot of reasons.
Okay, fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
The jury visibly winced, and the judge's expression darkened as the evidence started rolling in. But those were just the opening shots. What followed next hit like a wrecking ball. A stack of internal ABC emails, call records, and production memos that left no room for doubt about what had really happened behind the scenes. One producer's email bluntly read, "Carrie segment tomorrow, have Joy hammer the patriotism angle." Whoopi closes it out with something sharp. Another message went even further. "She's soft on the Trump subject. Push it. It'll rattle her." The courtroom, already thick with tension, seemed to stop breathing. Then came the moment that sent shockwaves through the room. A voice memo, clear as day, played over the speakers. It was Whoopi's voice, recorded during an off-air rehearsal. "Let's stir it up. I want this one off balance. She won't cry, but she'll crack," Whoopi could be heard saying, her tone casual, calculated. The silence that followed was suffocating. Reporters' pens flew across notepads, murmurs rippled through the gallery, and news alerts lit up phones outside the courthouse. Inside, Whoopi lowered her head, her face pale, and whispered something to her attorney. Eyewitnesses later said she wiped away tears with a tissue, visibly unraveling under the weight of it all. The brash, unshakable talk show veteran was crumbling in real time. Meanwhile, Carrie Underwood never flinched. She didn't speak, didn't glance at Whoopi, didn't crack a smile. Her eyes stayed locked on the screen as the evidence played out. A woman who'd waited years for this moment of truth. Legal analysts and media insiders flooded social media with reactions, hailing it as one of the most damning and strategically brilliant courtroom reveals in recent history. "This isn't just a defamation case," one attorney posted. "This is a cultural reckoning playing out under oath." And the battle was only just beginning.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right?
As the courtroom adjourned for the day, the real chaos erupted behind the scenes at ABC. Sources say the network's top brass were in full-blown meltdown mode. What had started as quiet, late-night strategy sessions when Carrie first filed her suit had now escalated into emergency crisis meetings happening around the clock. One insider reportedly described the atmosphere as DEFCON 1. A leaked internal memo, ominously titled "Urgent Managing the Carrie Situation," began circulating online, confirming just how deep the panic ran. And the fallout didn't stop there. Major advertisers started pulling out. One longtime sponsor, believed to have a $20 million a year deal with ABC, fired off a harshly worded letter condemning the network's handling of the controversy. Within hours, others followed, and for the first time in years, The View's ratings took a noticeable hit. Behind closed doors, the show's hosts were unraveling too. Joy Behar, typically defiant and unapologetic, has reportedly expressed serious regret in private conversations, blindsided by how fast the situation spiraled. Sunny Hostin, who once proudly leaned on her legal background, has gone completely silent. No statements, no interviews, and according to insiders, she's already consulting with legal counsel of her own. But it's Whoopi Goldberg who's at the center of the storm. ABC executives are reportedly combing through her contract, weighing their options between suspension and outright termination. What was once a beloved talk show icon has now become the face of an $800 million scandal, threatening the network's reputation and bottom line. Insiders whisper that this isn't about one bad moment. It's about a long history of unchecked remarks, polarizing commentary, and on-air controversies that finally caught up with her. And Carrie, she's not backing down. Through her legal team, she released a new statement. This isn't just about me. It's about every artist, guest, and viewer who's ever been humiliated for the sake of ratings. This ends here. The consequences of this lawsuit are quickly spilling beyond the network. Media critics, legal analysts, and cultural commentators are now openly questioning whether The View has finally crossed a line it can't come back from. Some are calling for daytime TV to be held to stricter standards of accountability. And if Carrie Underwood wins this case, the ripple effect won't just repair her image, it could forever reshape how celebrity talk shows operate. As for Whoopi, whispers inside ABC suggest she may have already taken her final seat at the table.
Whoopi Goldberg is on thin ice to the point where they're actually coming out with a new promo for The View. I know that show that we can't stand to watch because, you know, she does things like this. She spits when she says the president's name.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this, and you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just.
But can I mention one thing? Because Trump is out there calling.
Did you say his name? I said his name.
Oh,
yeah, it was a trick and it made me do it. But I'm just saying that that Biden knows what not to do.
Social media didn't just respond, it exploded. Within minutes of courtroom footage leaking online, every major platform was on fire. Twitter lit up with endless threads breaking down the trial moment by moment, while TikTok creators churned out reaction videos and edits at lightning speed. Instagram feeds were instantly flooded with memes, hot takes, and brutal callouts aimed at The View. Hashtags like George Carey claps back, Your View on trial, You are Justice for Carey, and Media Accountability Now weren't just trending. They completely took over the trending lists, dominating conversations across the internet. Even people who had never followed Carrie Underwood found themselves rallying behind her. One viral TikTok captured the mood perfectly. A split screen showing Carrie confidently entering the courthouse in a sharp navy power suit, her expression calm and unshaken, while on the other side, Whoopi Goldberg sat in the courtroom, visibly distressed and wiping away tears. The clip was set to a remix of Carrie's hit song Blown Away, with the track's beat dropping exactly as the courtroom fell into stunned silence when Carrie's legal team played Whoopi's off-air voice memo. The video amassed millions of views within hours, with comments flooding in from users declaring it the takedown of the decade. It was no longer just a legal battle. It had officially become a cultural moment.
So what's that about? Could it be that they felt she was just too much? I mean, they were going to be streaming and they need to take this product forward. And by the way, their streaming numbers were lousy. So they're thinking, okay, like let's move away from linear television and let's put The View on the weekend and let's do entertainment instead of politics. By the way, listen, like over here on streaming, like in this land, it's all about authenticity. You can talk about politics. You can talk about a lot of stuff. In fact, your crazy Whoopi, she might actually have a better following online than she does in the sort of traditional, shall we say, network environment. But they can't figure that out, I guess, either that or she's holding out for more money. I kind of wonder if she's in the middle of contract negotiations. And that's in part why she stopped spitting when she says the president's name. After all, he won. If you notice on that show, she's gotten extremely quiet. And now she's sort of relying on this one, Sunny Hostin. To go on and on and on, of course, Sunny Houston has no use for Doge or Elon Musk because, once again, they don't want to be exposed.
So what's really going on here? Could it be that the network decided Whoopi had simply become too much to handle? Word is, with streaming numbers dragging and plans to transition away from traditional TV, execs are eyeing a full rebrand for The View, possibly shifting it to weekends and swapping the heavy political commentary for light entertainment. Makes sense in theory, since over in the streaming world, it's all about authenticity and raw conversations. Ironically, Whoopi might actually thrive online, where unfiltered personalities tend to build cult followings. But for whatever reason, ABC hasn't figured that out yet. Or, and this is where it gets interesting, maybe Whoopi's playing hardball behind the scenes. There's chatter she might be in the middle of tough contract negotiations, which could explain why she suddenly dialed down the drama and stopped practically foaming at the mouth every time she mentioned the president. Ever since the election, she's been noticeably quieter on air, letting Sunny Hostin do the heavy lifting with her endless monologues. And speaking of Sunny, she's not holding back when it comes to Elon Musk or Dogecoin either. She's made it crystal clear she wants nothing to do with them, probably because deep down, neither she nor the network want any of their skeletons dragged into the light. Funny how quick they are to run their mouths until someone turns the spotlight back on them.